You are listening to Pipe Dreams, the Boom Smack, and Space Nomad. That was the Picassos, of course, Serious Business. Thank you for the cool chatter and the Chizat Bizox. I'm just reading it right now. It's really groovy. So I thought that it would be interesting to talk to Nomad about the EP because he heard it as it was evolving from the originals to now. So I thought he would be able to relate to the growth of everything. But for this first track, I thought it would be interesting to hear just a sample of, it was just a beat. It was basically just a beat that I made, the Demoitis. It was just a beat. And then Nick heard it and sang on it, and Pat played guitar on it. But here's a little sample of what it sounded like. It used to be called Smashing Printers.
Yo, Nick Wicker here from Cab. Couple of questions I'm going to answer. First question: if you only have a chance to play one song from the new album for an audience new to Cab, what song would it be and why? I'd probably say Too Dead to Die. It's for me, it's one of my favourite Cab songs. I love the energy. It's bouncy, it's a bit dancey. But yeah, it's definitely up there for one of my favourite Cab songs from what we've done. Definitely top 3.
Too Dead to Die. The main guitars were my LTD EC1000 and Epiphone Casino. I love the tone and power of my Casino. It's super light as well, but it still projects even if you don't have it plugged in, because it is a hollow body, despite being of the thin line variety. Anyway, I also double track the same heavy parts with my little brother's Ibanez K5 Fieldy Signature 5-string bass. Love the active pickups on that thing. They're just really meaty. Let's see, like every other pre-existing template song from Boomsmack that we work on, I listened a few times and I just started arming tracks and then adding layer after layer of guitar. At one point, I thought we might actually rename the original working title, which was Smashing Printers, to Layer by Layer, or at least make that a subtitle or something. But Too Dead to Die is even cooler. It's way cooler. So I had zero qualms with that. The whammy solo was a later addition, but we did keep in the original guitar solo and brought it up louder at the end just because it really hits the sweet spot. Thought it was kind of a nice blend. As always, Nick's raw vocal tone is just awesome, and he delivers yet another alt banger to add to the cab repertoire with this.
Okay, here it is, the worldwide premiere, Too Dead to Die, Candy Apple Pie.
Screaming from the grave, burn it all, let it rain.
smoke that chokes the sky. Born to live and soon to die. Staring down the void unknown, where shadows loom and monsters grow. But I don't break, not learn. Now I'm burned from every scar. I never turn, not learn, not learn.
So there you go. That was Too Dead to Die, originally titled Smashing Printers.
Wow, that's amazing.
What you think, Nomad?
Sounds fantastic. I
Yeah?
love all those layers. Oh my god, that's so good.
You know, I'm a fan of layers, but St. P is the layer
The layer master.
the layer master.
Master of the layer.
Master of the layer, the dragon's lair.
Oh man,
Um,
yeah, it's great. I love the acoustics come in at the end too, or maybe it's Hollow Body.
He could probably tell you. But when he sends me his guitar tracks, it's like another hand gesture.
He did a hand gesture, but it wasn't the same as the other one. That other
I've
one.
got so many hand gestures.
This one was looking at the wrist, searching for a watch which is not there.
That was so descriptive. But yeah, that was the reworking. I thought Nick and Pat, as always, just slayed that. And I think I remember one of them saying that, well, I'll let them say it in the interview. They were saying that it was a darker EP than the other ones.
Yeah. I'm loving the interviews too. That's a cool idea to play it over the demo.
Yeah, the demo-itis.
So we don't get demo-itis. So we'll put the interview over the top of it.
Yeah. Here's the original of Sleep Cycle. That's track 2 on the EP. It's like 2012.
Next question, is there a song that is especially difficult to sing? Which one and what makes it harder? I'm going to say Too Dead to Die again. It's up there in vocals for me anyway. The verses, the bridge, bit of the chorus, it's intense. I think it's on my like first or second break. So yeah, it's hard to constantly sing that intensity. You get a bit of a rest in the 2 choruses where it goes down a little bit. But other than that, it's pretty intense all the way through, which is a good thing.
Sleep Cycle. Sleep Cycle has one of those melodically simple bass lines, but the chorus and reverb just pull you in. After I heard it the first time a few years ago, I told Boomsmack we should work on that one. I think that was originally before we did the Beauty Float record, or it could have been before the Sugar EP, but either way, I knew I wanted to rework that one and give it the life that it, may have previously missed out on. Kind of like me going to church my entire life and just barely starting to break off those shackles. The nylon strings, to to me made the most sense for this song. Though I guess, kind of admittedly, I reach for that quite often. I mean, it's probably 50-50 whether I go for, a traditional steel string electric or acoustic or a nylon string. Anyway, that's where I started. I tracked some dueling parts between left and right, and then I moved on to the electrics. Instead of relying on VSTs for everything this go around, and really for the EP in general, I started recording with my Boss Pocket GT, which is typically my travel pedal, though I hadn't really been traveling much for the past couple years. Just happened to be this week. I eventually moved back to using my Digitech RP 1000. That's kind of been my mainstay for the past 10 plus years. And just committing to the sound on the way in versus spending hours on end deciding which virtual cabinet or pedals or whatever is going to fit the song better. I really haven't used them much for recording since the Cure cover album that we did as the Freshly Squashed Fly back during the pandemic. And in fact, I think the only track on that I actually used it on was 100 Years. So it was like the very first collaboration that I had with Boomsmack. Anyway, so that was, 6 years ago, whenever that was. But I really dig the rain stick vibe that the Booms added to this. It also reminded me of the intro to the Cure's song Like Cockatoos from Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me. So go give that a listen if you want, and let me know if that tracks or not.
Yeah, I just have to give a major shout out to AAA, the faceless Arizona Alaska Amy. About 30 years ago, it was so long ago, she gives me a rain stick, which I never fully appreciated until years later. I got a job at Guitar Center, and they had rain sticks that were literally like 24 inches long. And the one that my sister gave me happened to be 7 feet tall, a 7-foot rain stick. And if you know what a rain stick is, it's just this long cactusy thing with spines inside that makes a rattling sound that sounds like rain. And I've had this epic friggin' 7-foot rain stick, one of my favorite possessions, for 30 years, and I've never done anything with it creatively. So I played it, air quotes, another hand gesture, and I recorded it into the album onto the next track. So this is the updated new 2026 The Icing EP Sleep Cycle, Candy Apple Black.
Cab.
This won't be alright. Just close your own eyes. This won't be alright. Just close won't be alright. Just close your own eyes. This won't be alright. Just close your own eyes. Breathe me for a while.
Hi, all. This is St. P, not coming to you live because I will be on a flight from DFW to Pittsburgh tomorrow during Pipe Dreams. So, anyway, not coming to you live. So, in my spare time, like Boom Smack, I am a club DJ and have been a contributor to all things Candy Apple Black for the past several years. So we have released a full-length album called Beauty Float, which is available on all major streaming platforms, in addition to XRP Radio. We've also released the Sugar EP, which is also available on all major streaming platforms, as well as XRP Radio. And now we are proud to announce the pending release tomorrow of the Icing EP, with the Fire EP on its heels. So the Fire EP was actually leapfrogged by the Icing EP. That's just how things worked out. So Icing has hints of goth and gent, and I can also say that the Icing EP was originally supposed to be the Ice EP, but due to President Trump's idiocy when it comes to immigration policy, we felt compelled to not become guilty by association into his obvious draconian agenda. Who knows, by the time we release the Fire EP, we might actually rename it after him as the Firing EP. So anyway, the Icing EP it is, but that doesn't minimize its content. I pulled out pretty much all of the guitars I have in my arsenal, mainly my LTD EC 1000, my Epiphone Casino, my 7 strings, my Schecter Demon, Ibanez RG7, a couple of classical guitars, Ibanez and Yamaha. Anyway, this EP just exudes an alt mentality that is both heavy and poppy. And if people like classical too, then hey, have a little gas. But coupling my guitars with Nick's angsty vocals and Boom Smack's, well, boom and smack, I think you'll hear a recipe for unique music that you can both love and relate to. There really are no expectations with this EP. We only hope that you'll give it a chance. Also, like and subscribe, and we've been trying to reach you about your vehicle's extended insurance that's expiring and some other who knows bullshit. But anyway, if you don't like it, then beep. Just kidding. Nothing but love from St. P. Zzz.
Okay, here's the original. The original Silence Fiction 2012.
It sounds naked.
This is so old. But it's cool to hear where it comes from. When you hear the next track, you'll hear where this comes from, like the triplets and shit. The 3/4 over the 4/4.
do you have any warm-ups or other rituals you do before performing? No, is the quick answer. Not really. I probably should do, but no, if I get something and I want to record it, I just record it straight away. If I do anything, it'll be stupid crow noises and some Friar Wrote warm-ups, maybe a cough or two. So the crow noises would be things like, it sounds stupid, but it works. It's more of a just to get the muscles loosened. Fry warm-ups is going up through intensities, and maybe a just to get it opened up. But other than that, no, not really. I don't do anything.
Science fiction. I love the play on words the Boom Smack comes up with for some of these track names. Not only is it witty, it really got me in the right kind of headspace to channel that science fiction-y vibe to make it sound somewhat mysterious, at least to my ears. I really felt like it needed some piano though, so I plunked out the old Jingle Piano VST and went to Abbey Road, so to speak. For the exchange rate I got on minutes played versus how it turned out, I was pretty happy. It was a one and done, bada boom, and here you go. Not too bad for, I didn't really take piano lessons since I was like 7 years old, so hey. I played my Jetstream on this song mostly, along with the RG7, but it's got some Lundgren pickup on the bridge. Sorry, it's got a Lundgren pickup on the bridge, which they're known for being able to get really low but still have some clarity. And anyway, I just wanted to give it some kind of like low end crispness. Hopefully that really came through. I'm not sure it translated into the mix like that, but I hope that everyone likes it. One thing that I hadn't done yet was use distortion on any of my classical guitars. At least I don't think, at least not in one of the releases. But one of the leads in this track was one that I doubled, and it was actually using my Ibanez GA35. Let's see if you can spot the nylon string in this song.
I know the world, and I stumbled, fallen and crawled, twisting and turning, I swirled, eaten alive as I fall, bound only to you. The serpent rises, I fall, with only you in my arms. Scan the parade and all the hate that we made. I feel small, I feel done with it all, running away with the mistakes that we laid. I feel small, on my knees I will crawl. Scan the parade and all the hate that we saved. I feel small, I feel done with it all, running away with the mistakes that we've traded. I feel small, on my knees I will crawl. Never my faith I betrayed, never the way I'll only stay for a day. If I could run far
Hello, my name is not Snoop Doggy Dogg, and I'm here with my Nilla St. P. What up, biatch?
Hey, Nomad, what you think of that science fiction, baby?
Oh man, so good. You guys, stop being good, or I'm gonna have to write you a ticket.
Get you a ticket. You were going too good in a school zone or something. In a bad zone.
You're too good for the airwaves. No, man. Yeah. I do have questions. I don't know when is the appropriate time.
Now is the appropriate time to ask the questions.
Okay. Let's see what the questions. Okay. So did you redo all the drums for these?
Yes, the original 5 songs were all done on a drum machine. And 2 years ago, Santa, a.k.a. my parents, gave me an electronic digital Alesis killer drum set that I can play in my condo so I can play live drums without getting arrested.
Cloud 17.
Cloud 17. You can't play acoustic drums up here. So on the 17th floor, I've got the electronic Alesis drums. So all 5 of these songs, as soon as I heard we were going to redo them, I'm like, well, if we're going to redo them, let's really redo them. I'm not going to use a drum machine. We're going to play these. So all 5 of them are live drums.
That's amazing. So, but then you do bass lines and keyboard bits too, right?
I play the synth and the bass. St. P played some bass on the Too Dead to Die track, and I did the bass on the others. He did some bass 6, and of course a million guitars and piano.
Well, yeah. I'm just trying. Yeah. So when you redo everything, or did you leave like the bass track?
No, it's all completely redone.
So
like,
okay.
Like this next song, for instance, I had to like the one you just heard, all of them. I had to remember the bass line that I did back in 2012.
Oh wow, you really
and relearn it and replay it, re-record it in a better way because they were muddy, old, ancient 4-track recordings. They weren't really good.
Really?
So
you using a 4-track?
Back then I was.
Oh wow.
So for these, I even redid the whispering on Sleep Cycle, like it was all new, all brand new, just trying to make it more worthy, I guess, for Nick and Pat to play on. I didn't want them to play on a shoddy, ancient, half-assed recording.
Yeah. Okay. But I guess the secondary factor is you're making a new song, so
right. I
from the
didn't
ground
want to
up.
use drum machine anymore. I only did the drum machine, which is fun, but I only did it because I had no choice. And as soon as I got a drum set, I'm like, we're doing that now. I think it makes all the difference.
A matter of fact, everything goes back to Will Sargent, but he's, Echo was his drum machine. I think this stuff's common knowledge.
I
to
freaking
fans,
love drum machine. I grew up on them.
But when they really wanted to break out, they told us we should get a real drummer.
I mean, look at Depeche Mode. I freaking loved them for 30 years, and then they get a real drummer, and they just smokes all their old stuff. I can't even listen to them now without the drummer. He's so good.
Yeah, that's great.
They just took off.
I don't know if you want to play more songs or more questions.
Give me one more question.
Okay, order of guitars. I mean, you've got your collaborators, Nick and Saint Pete, right?
Yes, Nick Wicker. He's over in England, and St. P is in Texas.
So St. P's doing all these cool guitar parts.
Yes, he's the guitarist. Yeah, and piano. And in the Fly, he did some violin.
What? Wow, that's
Yeah.
cool. And then he said he's doing some key parts and stuff. It sounded great.
Mm-hmm.
It sounded like a harpsichord, one of them.
Yeah, it was really. Yeah, it was. It was. I think it was a VST, but I don't remember.
And do you just try different orders? Doesn't Nick sometimes do a vocal part first, or is it?
Oh yeah, actually, that's actually usually Pat is bringing up the rear. Nick is usually sung years or weeks before Pat gets around to the guitar. I think only once did Nick sing after the guitars. Usually I'll just come up with something and send it to Nick, and I'll send him like 7 things, and one of them will spark him, or 1 out of 10, or 1 out of 3, whatever it is. And I never know what he's going to like. It's funny because I'll send him something I think kicks ass, and he's like, nothing.
Uh-huh.
And then he'll be like, hey, I like this one. So then he'll sing on it, and then Pat plays everything on it. And it took 2.5 years to make this 5-song EP.
It's creative as heck, man.
It's like Tool.
The parts are just beautiful.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Let's hear about, I asked, Mish isn't here with us this week. He had something to do, but he sent me some questions. And this is one of Mish's questions right here.
All right, so we've got some random questions to answer here. The first one is, what's the most ridiculous costume or outfit you've worn on stage or in a photo? The first thing that comes to mind, I think I was a senior in high school. It was a Halloween show. I played bass for a punk band called Petty Persuasion, and so I had long hair. My hair was permed, and I had on pantyhose and some blue dress, kind of like Alice in Wonderland or something. Anyway, man, that was super, super uncomfortable. And yeah, I just could not wait to get it out of those pantyhose. Have no idea how women wear those things. I don't care how good they look, they're ridiculous.
I thought it would have been funny if Pat told that whole story and went, "That's the second most ridiculous thing I've ever worn."
I know. And we won't be revealing the first, but I'm wearing it right now.
Okay, so the next track is the one that changed the most. It changed by far the most from the original, so much that it was like a complete re everything. It's like brand new everything. But here's a little sample of the original. This is called "You're Not in That Movie I Dreamt."
Which comes first in the process, lyrics or music? It is a bit of both, because we all live so far away from each other, especially me, seeing as I'm living in England.
Living in England.
It's hard. It's hard to do either or, to be honest. I write lyrics, now and again, and then use them, maybe bits of different ones for songs. But Dave sends me what he does. I write the lyrics, if I haven't got any melodies over that, send it back, and then Patrick does his thing. It all works out, I guess. But yeah, it's hard living in different places.
Okay, question number 2. Bands I'm influenced by. Some of these are all time, some of them are kind of more recent, but The Cure, Sleep Token, Sting, Amberlin, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd. Man, the list goes on. I mean, I love 90s alternative music. I love 80s, 70. I mean, there's not too much music I don't like, to be honest. But anyway, those are some of my favorites. I probably left out tons of other ones, but I mean, those are pretty big and high on my list.
Hell yeah.
Hi, this is Nick Wicker from Candy Apple Black, and you're listening to Pipe Dreams on XRP Radio.
You're not in that movie I dreamt. Well, I mean, you're not, but really that's the title of the track. For this track, I debut the use of the EBO, which is, well, actually, is this really I guess it depends on which order you listen to the songs, but this was the first one I really used it on. Anyway, the EBO is just a magnetic guitar string stimulator. So it's kind of like using a bow on a violin, but kind of not. Anyway, I may end up using it on the Fire EP and other stuff in the future, but it's pretty obvious that I like the way it turned out because you can hear it pretty much the entire track. Talk about embellishing a bit much. So also to note here is that I felt like the track needed some kind of fanfare since it is or isn't actually about a movie. Anyway, just having movie in the name and made me think of Star Wars or Indiana Jones, and like those movies. Like whenever you just mention them, you have that fanfare playing. I was thinking more of something like Game of Thrones, but I really didn't watch that, so I'm not really. I mean, I wasn't familiar with the tune or whatever, but that just kind of seemed epic. It's like that's currently what people are watching that would have some kind of an epic fanfare, and it seems to fit the bill. Anyway, so I just wanted to have something cool like that, some kind of epic guitar hook. So I grabbed my Bass 6 and my Jazz Master and I started working at it. Hopefully I captured something cool, if not quite up to that level of epicness. I did. So on the EBO, I did end up using my new Gretsch Streamliner, fabulous guitar, and the newest addition to the family since Christmas last year. But anyway, had lots of fun getting to know the Streamliner as well as the EBO on this track.
Oh, well, now, son, the Stringulator, that's fine. We all can use a Gretsch Stringulator. But, son, you want to use the EBO, you're going to have to get permission from...
Yeah, he copped. Didn't you trademark the EBO?
Well, it was handed on a golden platter to me from Daniel Ash. There's only one EBO.
And Trey.
Okay, Trey, too. No, I kid. I love EBO.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear what St. Pete did to this with the EBO and everything else. But you can hear how different they took it. And Nick as well just took it to another level. On a side note, years ago, like 20 years ago, I dreamed an entire movie. I had a dream, and from beginning to end, I dreamed every detail to the thing, and I woke up and I wrote it down. So this was about that movie I dreamt because you weren't in it.
Writing from the start, you within my arms. Writing from the start, you within my arms. Falling down again. When will this end? Me and only them. The reasoning, my friend, was so true. And only you. What can I do? What should I do? Walk to me. wonder what's going on. I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know where I've been. You act like I'm the unknowing. I'll take the night as you're listening in. Listening in. You're listening
Hey yo, biatch, this is Snoop Doggy Dogg, and I'm here to tell you my Nilla St. P is for reals, man, sheet.
And question number 3 that I'm going to do. Have you ever wanted to kill a sound engineer? I'm not sure I would go so far as to say that I would have liked to kill a sound engineer. But then again, seeing that a majority of the time I am the sound engineer versus the musicians on stage or in the studio, the answer is a resounding yes. I really do hate myself most of the time. But in seriousness, yeah, most of the time, whether it's in the studio, either recording myself or doing stuff with Boom Smack and Nick, or whether I'm recording somebody else, or if I'm out doing a live sound gig where I literally am the A1 and the monitor engineer and like every other hat. Yeah, I'd really like to kick my own ass sometimes.
So what did you think of the Evo? Did it pass muster?
Well, yeah, it was just one element of many cool guitars that were on that thing. Yeah, it was fantastic. I loved it.
Yep. I don't know, but I told Pat that's like my favorite guitar working he did of any of the songs.
It seems like there's at least 3 different styles that are going on that one. It's great. I was thinking that was the nylon, right? In there.
Yeah, there had to be. I mean, I'm not a guitarist, but there had to be.
But you play one on TV.
the nylons. Ask Graham once sometime about the nylons.
Oh, okay. I'll do that.
It's just you'll get a great. His face will light the fuck up. I guarantee it.
But not pantyhose.
I mean, kind of, almost.
See, we got a callback to the pantyhose now.
Yeah, I love the callback.
Nylons.
Now we're not here right now. Leave a message. So here's another answer to one of the questions that Mish. Again, another Mishappenings question.
Bring it.
Did anything funny or interesting happen while making the new LP? No, not really, because I'm usually sat on my own in a room or in my car while I'm recording. If we were all together in a studio and we're recording, funny stuff will probably happen because that's just inevitable. But because I'm just sat on my own, I'm not. Yeah, I don't really sit there just laughing to myself because I'm writing lyrics or melodies. So no, not really. The funniest thing that happens probably is if I'm driving and I'm listening to stuff, trying to come up with things, I might pull over quickly in a lay-by and just record something dead quick over like voice notes or something like that, just so I don't forget it. But no.
Okay, so for the last track on the EP, Flow Up and Fall, I wanted to introduce, or at least give it a preface, because this is of note, because this is the very first song that I ever worked with Nick on. This is his very first song, 2015 or 14 or 13, long time ago. He sang on this, and but even before he did it, like 3 years before that, it was just an empty song. So here's a little bit of the original, and you can see, again, how far they took it and how far it's gone. New bass line, new drums, new everything, but mainly it's the guitars and the vocals is what made it what it is.
Was there anything you were watching, reading or listening to while making the LP that may have influenced your writing or performance? I don't. My lyrics don't work like that. I suppose I just write words. But when it comes to the songs, I usually just do a Phil Collins where I just make noises in melody form over stuff and try and find a melody before I find any lyrics, and sometimes them noises will turn into sounds and things that sounds like words, and then I'll probably go from there. I do think that this one is a bit darker than the other two that we've done, and I don't think that was intentional. I think it's just the way the music's lent itself this time. But no, I don't try and go off different things I've watched or books or I've read or anything like that. It's just a lot of the songs don't really mean it. There are a few songs that have meant things in I've tried to go down somewhere like that, but usually it's just me making noises. Them noises sound a little bit like a word, and then I'll probably just go from there, from where that word has lent me to go. But yeah.
Blow Up and Fall. I personally felt like this should be the last song on the EP. Just to me, it seemed like the obvious culmination. But I don't know if everybody else agrees with me or not. From heavy and slightly genty to mysterious and gothy, it may be my favorite on the EP. Maybe catch me Wednesday or Thursday, and we'll see. Maybe I'll change my mind. I felt like for that vibe, I needed to add a steel string acoustic versus just using the nylon strings, which I typically don't do with cab. Most of the time, I tend to stick to the nylon strings. Of course, I used the Casino, so it also made an appearance. And I also pulled out my Reverend Jetstream for the solo. Fun fact about that one, I traded my Fender Strat for this a few years ago from a Catholic priest who lives in the DFW area. He won it in a contest, but he wanted name recognition. You know, he didn't want a Reverend because it's not a Fender. So I felt slightly bad for taking advantage of him on that trade, but in the end, he got a Fender. You know, he got that name brand recognition, and I got the better guitar. Anyway, I'm also kind of pissed off at all the bullshit Fender is pulling by trying to sue everybody for copying the Strat shape when they could have done it decades ago. The hell, Fender. Anyway, I'm so fed up, I might end up selling my Jazzmaster or my Bass 6. I don't know. Good thing my Telly is already a G&L. Anyway, hopefully everyone forgives my excessive use of the expression pedal during the outro. I may or may not have also been intoxicated. Anyway, hope y'all like Flow Up and Fall, as well as the rest of the Icing EP from Candy Apple Black. This is St. P saying good night.
And again, this is just extra special because it was the first song I ever did with Nick. So when we decided to redo it with the new drums, because for years it was just a song with me and Nick. There was no Pat, and Pat's like, I want to be on this one. And so I was like, well, if you're going to do it, we got to redo the drums. And if we got to redo the drums, we got to redo the bass. And then I asked Nick, I was like, do you want to use the original vocals, which I loved? He goes, no, I want to re-sing them kind of to see where I am. So this is the new version on the EP. Here we go. And I'd shout out just to the damn what Nick and Pat did to this. It's so awesome. Hot dreams.
Counting circles, unbearable distance. Once or twice, you're put under resistance. Mountains of scale, mind's eye persistence. Morning required and then rewired the system. Hopeless visions, slowly drowning in limbo. We invade the pool while we're closing the window. In disbelief, I discover we're zero. Upon the rise, you fly. Flow up and fall for your life. Flow up and fall through the lights. Flow up and fall, the rain will die. The rain's cold tonight. Rain falls, hold on to your prize. Scale lost and I will open your eyes. Hold out your hand and I'll pull you to mine. You exist and I'll be fine. Never resist the light. Never resist what's mine. You exist and I'll just die. Upon the rise you find. Flow up and fall for your life. Flow up and fall through the lights. Flow up and fall, the rain will die. The rain's cold tonight. escape, mind's eye persistence, morning required and rewired the system, hopeless visions slowly drowning in limbo, we invade the pool while we're closing the window, in disbelief I discover we're zero, upon the rise you fight.
I've gone to heaven.
Well, there you go. Thanks for indulging me. That's the Candy Apple Black Icing EP. 2.5 years in the making. That's it. What'd you think?
Freaking incredible. Yeah. Wow.
Thank you. Take it there.
Yeah, it's freaking tight as heck and spacey and it's juicy and tasty. I want to eat your music, if that's okay.
The cover's kind of juicy looking too.
It is tasty.
It almost looks like a dark chocolate mocha with whipped cream on top or something with a pretzel in it or something.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty much your music right there.
If only we had a video aspect of the show with all the gestures and
the
visual.
gestures. No, you don't. I have a great face for radio. You definitely.
I have the best
don't.
hair for radio.
Yeah. Yeah, God, well done. I like that wah on that guitar.
Dude, that wow,
fucking
wow, wow,
filthy.
wow, 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 wow. I love it, dude.
Filthy as heck. And then I feel some. What's that high? Nick has a big range apparently.
Yeah, he
Can
does.
sing really high too.
And I always have to say this every time I talk about Nick and Pat. When I put the ad out, because after 15 years of making instrumental music, I really wanted to have singing and I wanted to have guitars. And I can't sing and I can't play guitars. So I put out an ad for both. And I had about 7 or 8 replies to each. And the very first person that responded, the same thing happened for the Freshly Squash Fly. The first person that wrote to me was Eric. And I never even opened anyone else's email. And the first person that answered my ad for a singer for Cab was Nick.
Dang.
And the first person that answered my guitar thing for The Fly was Pat. And the funny thing was, Pat, even me and him weren't getting along somehow, and I didn't know this dude, and I was like, no, I'm going to look for somebody else. And then like a month later, he writes back and he's like, you should reconsider. And I did, and I can't believe that we almost didn't even hit it off, because it's been like a roller coaster, epic, a coaster that always is going up and down, but in a good way, you know, like it almost didn't go off, but he and I were just like born to do shit together, I think.
Yes, you were. Separated at the music production clinic.
Well, there was another thing was funny where we had a sort of a thing like that where when it came time to name the pornography project, which usually I don't talk about being in a pornography project, but we were going to do a Cure tribute. We could have called it anything. I mean, I can come up with 1,000 things we could have called it. And the Scutterbutt, whatever that term is.
Love Cats.
Yeah, we could have. Well, we didn't cover that. We covered pornography. So I wanted to reference pornography or something. So Lovecast would have been a hilarious name for a pornography album. But I just decided to call it Freshly Squashed Fly. But before I mentioned it to Pat, he wanted to call it that. And I was like, how fucking
Really?
random is it's random as fuck.
It's a gross name, but I know it's a lyric, so
It's straight up a lyric. I don't know. I think it means nothing. Because he says right after that, he goes, "You mean nothing." But I don't know if the Freshly Squashed Fly means nothing or if the line means nothing. I've never figured that out.
It's an evocative image. Surely it means something.
I'm going to play the chat box.
Charlie plays the chat box.
Do it.
Dream.